The Supreme Court just dropped a bombshell, and President Trump is calling it a giant win. But what exactly happened, and why are legal experts and politicians across America losing their minds? Let me break it down for you. In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court just changed the rules of the game for federal judges. Up till now, if a single judge didn't like a government policy, they could block it for the entire country with something called a nationwide injunction. Well, that era is officially over. The Supreme Court says, nope, you can't do that unless Congress says so. Instead, judges can only stop a policy for the people who actually sued in their court. Trump and his supporters are celebrating, big time. Why? Because this makes it a whole lot harder for one judge to torpedo a president's agenda with the stroke of a pen. No more instant coast-to-coast blocks. The Justice Department's cheering too. They say this ruling finally reins in rogue judges and restores the balance of power. But there's another side to this story. The 3 justices who disagreed, and a lot of critics, are sounding the alarm. They say if courts can't issue nationwide orders, the government could break the rules in one state and get away with it in another. That could leave vulnerable groups with different rights depending on where they live. It's a recipe for confusion and potential chaos. Here's where it gets even juicier. This Supreme Court move immediately impacts Trump's controversial push to end birthright citizenship. The court didn't rule on whether the policy is legal, but it did allow the new rules to kick in, at least in states that haven't challenged it. So in about 30 days, the administration can start enforcing the changes across large parts of the country. Trump is calling it a giant win because he can finally move forward on one of his biggest campaign promises, at least for now. But don't think the legal fight is over. Lawsuits are already popping up, and the question of whether a president can change who gets citizenship by executive order is far from settled. We're in for a wild ride of courtroom battles, appeals, and maybe, just maybe, another Supreme Court showdown down the road. So, what does this mean for America? In plain English, expect a lot more legal drama, with policies bouncing from state to state, and rights looking different depending on where you live. The balance of power between the courts and the White House just shifted, and you better believe everyone in DC is paying attention. Don't miss out as this historic story unfolds. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, smash that subscribe button for #America, give this video a like, and share it with your friends. Trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next.